just hit the go button and realised, Matt, you're meant to introduce today's pod. So away you go.
Oh, seamless transition. Welcome to episode 69 of FPL Apprentice. We are doing our Game Week 26 review, looking ahead to Game Week 27. I'm Matt, of course. I used to be half decent FPL back in the day, but more importantly, we are joined by Dave, my co-host. He's known for many things. Early ANA adopter this year. Last year, an early Matty Cash adopter. He's got 2 top 100k finishes in a row, and it's probably on track of it for third as well. So this guy, he knows his stuff, and more importantly, half decent guy as well. Dave, how are you?
Thank you. Not quite former world number one like yourself, but yeah, I'll take the clearly know how to pick a defender. But yeah, okay, mate. Okay, fed up on Friday, fed up on Saturday. Sunday brought me back into play, so ended up in a not too bad position, a red arrow as I expected, as I didn't have an assistant manager chip in play. But I mentioned I wanted to finish, if anything inside 200k, I'd have been happy with the assistant manager chip in my back pocket. I am 3 points off it, so I can't be too unhappy, mate. But you, Centurion Club, 2 weeks in a row.
Three in a row.
Three in a row. This assistant manager chip is doing wonders.
No, for sure. I mean, should we go straight into it? Should we do our? I think I'm going
let's jump it up.
Game Week.
Let's jump it up.
Oh, sorry, agenda. Do you want to do it?
Agenda set. So yeah, as it's very quick between yesterday's fixtures, Liverpool City being the last one of Game Week 26 and Game Week 27. There's only 48 hours between them. Very quick pod, just recapping how we did in Game Week 26. Look at some options for captaincies in 27, as well as our own thoughts and our own teams. Well, as always, do a little update on our mini league and then play Matt versus Dave to see where we're at there. But as you say, Matt, we are starting with Game Week 26 review, and you are indeed first on this new layout.
Yeah, nicely done, mate. I like it. I don't have to squint quite as much. But yeah, I talk about big picture. Obviously, we said a 300 plus scores in 3 game weeks. But that's because I activated assistant manager back in Game Week 24. So yeah, it's a powerful chip, right? So I've kind of halved my rank, right? I was going into Game Week 24, I was at 850k rank. I'm now at 430. It was looking a lot better mid game week as it does sometimes. I think I was up to about a 250k rank at the end of Saturday. But yeah, finished it at 430, so obviously very happy with that. 1 week in isolation, that moves me from 640k going into Game Week 26 to 400k. 430k now, so got to be happy with that performance. But yeah, it's the power of the assistant manager chip, really. So yeah, I've gone targeted the table bonus managers. So I've done the route of Moyes in Game Week 24. I think he got 22 points for his double. Then I went Emery, Game Week 25. I believe he had 14 points. And then moved it to Glasner in Game Week 26. So yeah, kind of like a big scores there. What was that in total? It's like 56 points. So yeah, pretty massive. I mean, what would you say, mate? I was like on the assistant manager chip. You haven't played it yet. What would you say is a good score? Like something you'd be happy with, not necessarily par, but like something you'd go.
Yeah, you'd take. I reckon if you take it as like another player, so you're playing 13 players, if you include your captain twice, any player that gets a double digit, you've got to be happy with, right? So 10 points a game week over 3 weeks, 30 points.
I'd put 30. Something you'd leave really happy with that. I think 25 you'd be okay. Like less than that, or 20 you'd be okay. Less than that you'd be disappointed. So yeah, obviously like a real disproportionate outcome there for me, which is really cool. But I think ranks at the moment, they're not really reflective, right? We've got to kind of wait until late in the season to see how things are averaged out. You've obviously played a triple captain. I haven't. I'd say triple captain is less powerful, but for me, 15 points is something that you'd be really happy with for a triple captain.
Yeah.
So yeah, we shall see how it can it turns out. But yeah, I kind of went into this move. We made one transfer. I moved Emery to Glasner. Kind of mentioned I kind of always wanted to target table bonus managers, and I don't know if we spoke about Palace too much like when we caught up last week, but I don't think at the time they were in scope for the 5 points difference. So really, I was looking at the options. I was eyeing up Leicester. I was eyeing up Ipswich. I didn't realise
Yeah.
Palace were in scope, but obviously Palace are a far better team than those guys. And I think the gap to Fulham wasn't necessarily great. Palace had some really good away form kind of recently, and it was Glasner's announcements in the press conference on the Friday, which were really appealing. Right, he said we've got a full team, everyone's fit.
Yeah.
Their best player Eze was fit. Good players such as Sarr and Mateta were fit, right? So I was like, yeah, kind of let's go for it. So I think if I was looking at the odds, I think table bonus getting 5 points to draw with a team above you. I was looking at the bookies odds for Palace to win or draw that game. I think that was like 65%, 70%, right? So that's you got to back yourself for that. So yeah, obviously, I wasn't expecting a 2-0 win, so obviously a disproportionate thing, but it's just different approaches. I think people who went Arteta kind of funny outcome there, but like I didn't think that was going to be worth the move because what's his ceiling? 10 points.
So, yeah, 2-3-0 win. So yeah, what's that take you to? That takes you to 10.
10.
Absolutely.
So like versus I was looking for obviously, yeah, some people be going for a midpoint versus like do I want to go 0 or do I want to go 20? I was just looking at the table bonus managers having that far greater ceiling, and then the odds likelihood not too dissimilar. You've got to work really hard to get 10 points to beat a team above you. Like I thought, like Liverpool's performance was excellent, right? Slot only got 10 points for that to keep a clean sheet against Man City as well as scoring 2 goals, right? So yeah, I kind of came out trumps that, like so. Yeah, kind of a bit of luck, bit of variation. Well, I think based on the performance, there wasn't luck. Actually, they would deserve to win 2-0 based on a dominant performance. But going in, like, hey, people had choices. That's clear the one I wanted to make in it. It came off, which is good. I haven't seen it kind of much this year. Yeah, rest of the team. I bench kind of like defense didn't really do anything. Colwell, Gabriel, Pickford, yeah, all conceded. Trent got a clean sheet. I did bench Canate. I think going into the week that was kind of like logical. So whatever. So I benched a kind of return there. That's fine. The mids, yeah, Palmer, Rogers. Palmer, Rogers didn't do anything and didn't really perform great either. Salah got his classic return, and Boomer got his return, and then Fernandez did what he did, which is plays 95 minutes, is on every set piece, and like if he does get a
free
return,
kick.
he gets three bonus really. So
Yeah,
got to be happy with that. And then I played João Pedro just because out of necessity. I wasn't expecting it, but I remember texting him, like, "Oh my gosh, like Welbeck's not in the squad at all." So yeah, that was lucky. But if you're playing a striker against Southampton, yeah, you're expecting returns. But yeah, I was expecting João Pedro to be in midfield or coming on, or coming on for like 30 minutes. So yeah, I got lucky there, and then. Yeah, Watkins, I think could have scored against Chelsea, but he blanked. So yeah, I've got to take it. But yeah, really for me, it was like a couple of big midfielders with double digits, Mbumo, Fernandez, Salah, and then just a story about Glasner really. For you, mate,
hell of a game week, 138 overall rank, and I like that Bruno and Pedro. You went and ahhing last week. Do I take them out? Do I take them out? But then you said. You feel like doing it's a luxury move, so you didn't, and you approve right.
Well, now I'm going into I'm going in. I've got Fernandez, and it's funny how a return can change things. I've got a person who can play game week 29 against Leicester, right? So, I mean, it's funny how kind of patience sometimes works. Sometimes it doesn't. What is your view? And yeah, it was good game week. I think come Sunday, all the players that heavy owned players that I didn't have did return. Slot being an assistant manager, Allison, Woods, Isaac, of course. So I mean, at one time it was looking like a huge week, but it's still kind of big week there. What's your view on assistant manager now? Just like reflections, post this
How
week.
I'm going to play it.
We won it 3 weeks. No, I mean, it'd be good to get your views on just like how you want to play it, but like just reflections on how it's worked. Obviously, you've seen people go Arteta get 0. You've seen people with slot and keep it there, getting some solid returns. You've seen people go for those table bonus managers. What's your views and reflections? I'm going to be biased because I've got 56 points from it, right?
So play fixtures, and what I mean by that is not don't play the fixture difficulty, but play the number of fixtures, right? I think the points have come out from assistant managers very well because, I mean, well, you're an example. You played this over 3 game weeks, but you got 5 games out of it. The more chances, the more goals. What's the saying? The more shots you have, the more goals you'll score, right? So I think for those that haven't played the assistant manager yet, playing it in that 32-33 game where people like Newcastle could double twice is a real nice place that they could play that chip. So I think the big learn for me is play number of fixtures, and if it's a single game week, and you've got a team that a draw isn't out of the question, like Palace away at Fulham, it could well be worth the gamble.
Yeah,
don't be stupid and put it on Leicester or Ipswich or Southampton.
Yeah, no, I think what you're saying is sensible. I mean, I would say that plus try and play the best possible team of table bonuses.
Yeah. So it's out of interest. So Newcastle will be a 6th, 7th in the league, there or thereabouts. If they have Liverpool, would you play it?
Well, as in next week. I think there's better options. I think Fulham have got a better. I think Wolves against Fulham is a better game. Palace are playing someone as well, mate. Who are Palace playing?
I've sold Saar, so I don't know. It's the honest truth.
Who are they?
That's a tip for later. Sold Saar. My transfers have been made. Gambled.
Palace are playing. They're playing Villa at home, so that's a ripe fixture, right? Palace, quite a decent team, have been unlucky, during periods of this season, artificially low against Villa.
Yeah.
Who are a good
What
team,
about
but not great team. So that's a far better. I think Newcastle. I think the gap between Palace and Villa is less than the gap between Newcastle and Liverpool. So I'm just looking at play the best team relatively with table bonus.
yes?
So next, if I was playing it this coming week, game 27, I'd be targeting Wolves against Fulham or Palace against Villa. Palace against Villa would be the one I'd be aiming for.
Do you trust United enough to play at 30, 31, and 32 when they've got teams 5 places above them back to back to back?
Well, there's other teams without have like doubles during that period, right? So
Yeah, in the end, in 32 they will. Yeah,
depends who they're playing.
United.
Depends who they're playing as well. Like I
I
wouldn't
think
really.
we've got City, Newcastle. Can't think of the other one. Can't think of the other one. But yeah, so do you agree that number of fixtures? No.
Yeah, maybe not. Like I mean, like Palace are better than Manchester United, and like Fulham are not as good as Newcastle, are they?
Yeah. So do you think then play number of fixtures first, followed by that metric that you're talking
I
about?
think so. I think so.
Yeah.
People say recency bias, but like it's just far easier to get big points, right? Especially that kind of ability to draw a game as well. You have to do so much to get only 10 points if you're the team that's ahead.
Whereas a draw, there's 8 straight off the bat.
Yeah,
At least
exactly.
9.
No,
If
exactly.
if it's 0-0, you're getting 10. If it's 1-1, you're getting 9. Can't be anything else.
No, exactly.
It only goes up from there.
Exactly. Especially when it's these closer kind of like matchups for sure. The team to win, to kind of win by a clean sheet to get that 10 points. That's kind of really quite a tough doing. Like you're doing it for what, a ceiling of 10 points.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of people say hindsight and whatever, but I mean, I think it made sense when the chip came out, and that's how it's come to play so far, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
how was your week? So probably a tough one because you had no chip active.
Yeah, so red.
Oh,
My Friday and my Saturday were dreadful, mate. I ended up on the end of Saturday on 19 points.
that's
Absolutely
worrying about you,
horrific.
mate. You kind of went quiet all afternoon.
Just I came out a Saturday looking at Gabriel 2, Robinson 1, Clivert and Dango with 2 each, thanks to the red card. Palmer with 2, Delat with 2. The only person that delivered for me on Friday and Saturday was Wisser, who got 8. Nice to see him get a return. Bought him in a couple of weeks ago. But it changed. Sunday swung it round. So I was at about 280k after Saturday's games. And then the Salah captain didn't move me that much. But a lot of people sold Isaac to bring in Watkins. So nice to see Isaac bring back points, 13 points for him. But the real difference was the double Liverpool clean sheet. A fair few people had one player, probably
Yeah.
probably a Trent. But Allison picking up 8 points was a real win for me because he's not very well owned, big differential. So yeah, I ended up on 74 points, 3.6 million overall, which is a pretty average game week. It was a red arrow down to 214. Well, as I said before, I'm only 3 points off 200k. And having that assistant manager chip in my back pocket, when most active managers have probably played it, it'd be interesting to see once I've played that where I end up.
That's fun. I think you can add 15 points onto wherever you are at the moment, right? Because like triple captain, let's say that's worth 15 points.
Yeah.
Assistant manager worth 30 points. Obviously, the net difference is 15, right? So you add 15 points to your score now. I'll give a more accurate reflection of where you are, which would be probably give or take top 100k on that threshold. What was your move this week? I know this is one free
So
transfer. I can't remember what you made.
just the one. So I ended up moving Rodgers out and brought in Clivert. I thought that home game against Wolves, the way Bournemouth had been playing, they could do pretty well. So nice to have the two attackers. And then in the 30th minute, they got a red card, and that was pretty much the end of their attack. So bit of a disappointing one. But all I'd have done is I'd have played Sa, so it's made 1 point difference. But it allowed me to get rid of a player that blanks in 29 and bring in a player that plays in 29. So
No,
I'm not
fair enough.
I'm not going to beat myself up about it.
And
That was the transfer.
how much money do you have in the bank?
I did have I did have 3.2 million.
Oh, so you got Cunha for Delap then, but I think your love affair with Delap continues.
I could have done Delap to Cunha as well. Tell you the reason I didn't. I'd looked at the defence of Bournemouth, who Cunha was playing, and they've been solid of late. I then looked at the defence of Tottenham, who Delap was playing, and they've been pretty poor of late. Delap also had home advantage. So for that, and they both scored in their last two. So for that reason, I was like, it feels like maybe a force move. Anyway, it would have made me 7 points better off, wouldn't it?
Uh,
We live and learn. We live
Keeping
and
Delap
learn.
has lost a few points the last 2 weeks, isn't it? That's
It
just,
has. It has. And I've now made the move, mate. I've kind of hinted at it. Delap's gone, unsurprisingly. Cunha's in, but I'll show you that later on. But yeah, a bit of a frustrating one, that one. I worried when the red card happened in the Bournemouth game. Cunha was going to, he scored about 5 minutes after the red card, was it? And I thought he's going to get another, he's going to keep probably Pepper get 2, 3 attacking returns and rarely punish that decision. Luckily, just the one, but one's still enough. 3 bonus. He's like Chris Wood. Chris Wood gets beat in a 4-3, only gets, anytime he scores, he gets 3 bonus. Did he get an assist this game week? I'm lying. It was the game week
he got
before.
an assist. I mean, with Chris Wood, it's because he doesn't take any of it. The only shot he takes goes in, so there's no missed shot issues, right? It kind of like he doesn't do
Yeah.
bonus. I think with Cunha, he just gets bonus because he's just creating so many chances and beating defenders, right? Which, yeah, the way bonus points are awarded is the way it is. But I think Cunha's contributions are a little bit more deserved.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the week before. Forest lost 2-1 to Fulham. Yeah, Wood got 3 bonus. Anyway, I'm just grouchy because I don't own him. But I
Yeah.
can't complain, mate. Is the long and short of it. Assistant manager's now out the way, so I can look forward to game week 27 onwards, not having to compete against people with that chip active. And then see how it goes for me later on in the season. So at least I'm not battling.
Yeah,
Um,
it's still a
and
solid place to be in it, and you've got that chip to play, right? So damage limitation for a week like this, but you can kind of like move on and get in a
so
strong position.
exactly that. Exactly that. But that's the end of my game week. moving on to captain, and I think for the first time in a little while, mate, there might actually be a discussion to be had because top of the
I
assisted points
agree.
is Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
Cole
I'm
Palmer.
not. I'm not surprised, right? Given his history and then how bad Southampton are. Um, yeah, I think yeah, it's a debate between Salah and Palmer. Like statistical
Yeah,
models will all say Palmer. Um, Salah's on that streak where he's just being super efficient.
yeah,
Anything he's doing is
just
returning. Palmer's been very, very poor.
very. And Chelsea have only won. I don't know whether you've
Oh, he,
looked.
he, he did.
But
I mean, that's a bit unfair. He did have like almost a one-on-one chance to be scuffed against like Villa, where he would probably normally score. Right, so if he got that return, he'd probably be thinking a lot different. But his
yeah,
XGI last game week was like 0.7, which is not bad, and that's all
yeah,
down to that one-on-one chance he had with Martinez. So I think we can't be too outcome biased, right? I reckon like if he scored that, we'd probably feel a little bit different. But I feel a lot more confident about Liverpool versus Chelsea. Chelsea have been like Palmer himself hasn't what? When was the last time he returned? One, two, three,
it's about
four,
5 games
five.
ago.
Yeah, he's got one
10 points.
assist in five game weeks, and not the hardest games either. Chelsea more generally look really, really poor, and he's just like surrounded by quite weak players. Like Jackson not being in is making an impact.
So that's
Madueke is probably the next best attacker. So I think it does impact it. Whereas like yeah, Liverpool looking like a well-oiled machine. Um
Gakpo is back for them as well, which might
Gakpo's
help
back,
Salah
yeah.
out.
I was Newcastle do are leaky as well, right? So they're a good team, right? But their expected goals conceded, it's not like they're watertight, right? 1.6 goals per 90. That's like mid-table, right? It's not like a
Yeah,
oh look, there's not much difference between Spurs. Like Spurs on this table, Spurs is 1.78. Like what's that? I'm guessing that's for the season, yes.
yeah, but it's based on so that's Newcastle away. That'll be Tottenham at home.
No, I mean like if the Sal's playing Spurs, you'd be like kind of happy days, right? So
Yeah,
like Newcastle is not like away, they're like watertight. Yeah, I think it's close. I was on Palmer up until Chelsea against Villa. I just thought their performance was bad, so I'm currently on Salah. But I think it's a 50-50. There's like you said, there's a decision. So yeah, I'm on Salah at the moment, leaning towards Salah. Also, these decisions they don't come without risk, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
if you're 50-50, it's probably better to go on and like you've got doubts, it's probably better to go with the person who have more ownership, right? To just
Yeah,
reduce that issue with the outcome. Like it's just like yeah, playing basic statistics and game theory there and there, but like close.
that's
But
risk.
I'm Salah for the time being. What about you?
I am also Salah,
Yeah.
mainly because Chelsea have won 2 in their last 10. I don't know they've got Southampton at home, but Liverpool are playing better. But now something for your last 6 game weeks. Expected goal involvement per 90. Palmer 0.59. Salah 0.67. There's not
Is
that
that it?
much in it.
Yeah,
There's
is that
not
it?
much in it
Yeah.
in the last 6 game weeks. So it's a lot closer. Palmer's been playing better than he's returned. And you think
Yeah.
if there's any game that he's going to maybe start to get those returns, Southampton at home would be the one. And it's a much worse defense than the Newcastle defense. So
Yeah, yeah.
I can
I
see
think
me
that's,
swinging to Palmer, but
no,
at the
I
minute I'm
think
on Salah.
I think that's important. Yeah, yeah. I think that outcome bias is important. We don't take that too like literally, right? If only plays
Yeah,
applies for quick Chris Wood, who just takes a breathes at something, gets a gets a return. But normally, yeah, players like they revert to the mean, right? So Palmer's due, Sal's running hot, right?
yeah,
Yeah, it's a tough one. Tough one. 50-50. I'm currently on Salah, but I've like jumped between him and Palmer. So I'll revisit it. We'll see. I think sometimes it's down to like, yeah, how much risk do you want to take if you're uncertain, right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
think the conservative approach will be Salah, given his ownership presumably will be far higher. Palmer will be a bit more risky punt. Do you want to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll probably end up on Salah through fear factor of if I don't captain him and he explodes, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
It's not the boat it's not the fun way to play the game, but
Well,
it's well,
I think
yeah,
you're at a rank where rank protection is a little bit more important than me, right? I'm what 30, 40 points behind you, right? So I can punt a little bit more. So I think where you rank them at the moment, kind of like can dictate it. I don't normally care about effective ownership. I think we've said that a number of times. It's more just when there's a proper 50-50 call
Yeah.
where it comes
Which
into
this
power.
is.
But okay,
Absolutely.
we'll see. We might have different captains, which will be interesting. But it is a debate, which is interesting.
Absolutely. So Salah for now. Well, on that point, bring up your team, Matt. Team reveal time. Game week 27. You have a transfer option available as your team. What are you looking at? I think we like
Yeah.
Rodgers was injured.
So I'll kind of read my team at the moment, which I think it's not great, but it's perfectly serviceable, right? So I can put some players out and it looks okay. So Pickford away at Brentford, Colwell home to Southampton, Gabriel at Forest, Trent and Canate home at Newcastle, Palmer currently vice, and then Salah captain, Mbumo at Everton, Fernandes at Ipswich. Like, hey, like I said, like glad I've held on to him now with like Ipswich and then Leicester in 29. João Pedro, I'll assume he's going to play given he scored and assisted. And there's a quick turnaround. Like, I don't know, Welbeck's going to be not in the squad to starting on. Are they playing on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Oh, look.
Anyway, it's a quick turnaround, right? So you'd imagine that Welbeck's not like I'm in and start straight away, especially given that they won. So João Pedro is perfectly serviceable for this week, as is Watkins, right? Who can score against anyone. And I think with Watkins, he looked dangerous against Chelsea, and we say it often. I think he's now getting surrounded by better and better players, right? So he's got Tillmans and like McGinn and Rodgers behind him. He may have Rashford and Asensio like on the wings, right? Those are good players that can all create chances and all divert attention from him, right? So it's not like a Fernandez situation where he's like the only half decent player. So Watkins is kind of perfectly good away to Palace. So saying that, I've got a terrible bench. I've got Rodgers injured, Vandenberg injured, and Stewart just doesn't exist. Like kind of really. So a few different options now. I could just roll. So I might do actually. I think new information would be valuable. And then I've got to start thinking about my plans for game week 29 as well, the blank game week, right? So I could roll, which is option C that you've got on the page. I could move Rodgers. I'd say the most exciting move. I could do Watkins and Rodgers out for Bowen. Bowen is playing Leicester and Cunha. So Cunha, who's he playing?
Fulham. Home to
It's
Fulham.
it's not a great game, but like Cunha is like a nice own for like the medium term. Really, he plays 29. I think thinking of that, yes, that upgrades my team and brings in like a exciting player in Bowen, but like moving Watkins for a kit that does seem a little bit of a luxury move. So I could do that. That's the most exciting one, but it would be for -4. Other options I have, I could move Rodgers to someone, right? I could move Watkins to Cunha, but that doesn't feel like I'm getting value there. I think Watkins in isolation is probably better than Cunha this week. I would say. Do you agree, mate?
That's a fault Cunha's on, but he seems to be scoring from outside the box a lot.
Yeah. Watkins is better in isolation, though, ignoring who you brought in. But this week only, like I'd expect Watkins just to nail. I reckon it's like he'd be expecting Watkins would be 5, Cunha would be 4. It's close.
No, it's not worth a transfer. Is the point?
Yeah, it's close.
Transfer.
I'd favour Watkins just in isolation. So I think probably won't do that. Then, like looking at the rest of my team, then it's like, okay, Rodgers is someone I want and need to get rid of, right? So loads of options here. I can't go to Bowen straight away. I do that every single day of the week, but I can't afford it. Obviously, 7.2, Rodgers is 5.6, right? I've got 0.8 in the bank. I could do loads of things. I could go Dango. However, Evan Nilsson's back on the bench now. When is he? Well, obviously, he didn't get any minutes, but when's he going to start getting minutes? That's kind of interesting. And will he be the starting striker when he's back? Could he be starting striker by game week 29? I don't know, right?
It's a few weeks off.
Exactly. Yeah, like could get minutes now. Evan Nielsen then could get minutes in 28. Then like, is he a better player than Dango outside of fantasy. Probably he's got the reputation right. Like he is their
Mhm.
main striker. Likewise, Clivert could be dropped as well. I mean, this is why Semenyo is interesting because he's just their best player. Like Clivert could be dropped and Dango could be played. So yeah, on the wing. So it could be interesting ramifications there. Could go a Chelsea player, Enzo Fernandez. I can't afford Neto, unfortunately, or Nkunku. I really liked Nkunku coming in. I think we spoke about him last week. He was just so bad like against Villa. He was on the wing. His attitude was really, really poor. It's cliche, right? But he didn't look up for it. And like,
Yeah.
because he was playing on the wing, like he would just be the first person you would drop. Neto played very good in comparison. Palmer's never going to be dropped. Fernandez
Yeah.
won't be dropped. So like, if someone's getting dropped, this Nkunku, right? And then I think you've got Madueke's off now, but when he's back, he could replace Nkunku. And then like Sancho is that. Sancho is fit, right? So any of those guys, and you've got like random players like Matheson, right, who could play that position. So if anyone's going to get dropped by Chelsea, it's going to be Nkunku. I think if you look at models and stuff like that, and I think if you go back a page or two in the captaincy options, Nkunku was up there. I think they're predicting too many minutes for him. I'd put him at 60 minutes, if not less.
Yeah.
So what I was hoping for a performance against Villa. Like he was just so uninvolved and was just like really poor. So I could still go there just to play that risk and that upside, right? But I'll have to admit it'd be a risky move. And then I could go Semenyo, sensible and sound. There are some ramifications, right? So if I go someone like Dango or Enzo Fernandez, right, that means I can have a strike force for game week 29 of João Pedro, Cunha, and Chris Wood. Chris Wood could be what's his name, Mamouche from City as well.
Same.
Like, so I could have like some pretty solid strikers there. If I go for a more expensive option, Semenyo or Nkunku,
Yeah.
I can have João Pedro, Cunha, and then has to be like a Strand Larson who's only just returned from injury, got 45 minutes on the weekend. Raul Jimenez, Jamie Vardy, Beto's all right to be fair for Everton, but
He's doing it. He's doing the business.
so I've got options there, but like it's definitely not as good as having Chris Wood for
Way at Ipswich.
Ipswich and then Manchester United on game week 30, right? So I've got to think about these options. So you can see I'm a bit uncertain, right? And like the one that is certain, Bowen, like I'd have to get him in for a -4, which I don't think is necessarily worth it. So I'm kind of thinking, as boring as it sounds, I could probably just roll, right?
Yeah, get it.
I should probably like Liverpool been very good defensively the last like 5 games, right? They probably shouldn't have conceded in any game, right? It's not the worst. I could even start Rodgers and hope he plays instead of Konate, but I think it's not great. But a
It's not
Bournemouth
the worst
midfield isn't
either.
essential this week.
Yeah. No, that's it. Away at Brighton.
Away at Brighton, that's not an easy game. I'd like to see information about Dango versus Evan Nielsen and stuff like that. What else? Like Nkunku just seems incredibly punty, you know.
Oh, yeah,
And
especially as you say, he played terribly.
and I've got 2 Chelsea players anyway, which is more. So I'm kind of already got a vested interest against that in this Southampton game. And like Nkunku does push me down a route where I've got suboptimal striker line, right? I think I'd like to have Cunha and Chris Wood, like so. I could sit the week and see is Enzo Fernandez still playing in the 10 and doing well. Then I could maybe bring him. I could bring in some other cheap midfielder, or I could just go back. Could defer to Dango. So sounds boring, but I might roll.
I think it's boring. It makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. The Bournemouth midfield is this game week. That's not a great fixture away at Brighton. Brighton have been playing
Kudus is
fairly
another
decently
option
of
I
late.
didn't mention. Sorry, mate. Sorry to cut over.
Kudus.
Yeah, Kudus could be
Kudus.
a.
He's not been playing well though, has he?
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Like, just doesn't get any returns
Yeah.
ever.
Three goals, 1 assist all season.
Yeah,
So not great. So I
nah.
don't think as much as it's not as exciting as a transfer, role makes sense, is what I'd say in your position.
It's
That
just
team
like
that you've got
it's nice
there.
to get some info. Like if Evan Nielsen doesn't play or doesn't make the squad, then it's like it gives a bit more certainty with Dango. And like there's a delay in there. Like next weekend, playing midweek, and then there's a week and a half delay.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can see what
Of
happens,
course.
see who gets injured, see if there's any training use, and then I'll have a little bit more certainty there around. Okay, is Nkunku looking good? Did he score? Okay, then I'll bring him in for Ipswich.
Yeah.
They're playing Leicester, aren't they? Leicester, yeah. I could bring him in. Is Dango still looking like he'll be
Striker.
starting for at
Bring
least
him
a
in.
couple of
Yeah.
weeks? Like, is it Clive who's coming off for Evan Nielsen? I don't know. So it might be sitting as the best.
Yeah. Don't feel bored. Don't feel like that's boring me. I think that's sensible play.
Yeah.
If we want to get a bit more jazzy, I'll tell you what I've done because I've made transfers. I've done both
Yes,
of my
nice.
transfers. I did have 2 free transfers, 3 point something million in the bank, but the moves I made, I was exactly bang on price, and I don't think he did end up going up, but there was potential that Cunha's price was going to increase. So I thought I've got to
Yes.
do it. Made up for my mistake last week. I've finally sold the lap, and I've bought in Cunha. And then I've got rid of Sarr, who blanks in game week 39, and I've bought in Bowen. So pretty happy with the squad. I've got the Liverpool double up in the defence as well, Newcastle and Trent. And Newcastle and Trent, Allison and Trent even against
Yeah.
Newcastle. Gabriel and Aina. I'm not convinced I'll start Aina, but that could easily be a 0-0 with Arsenal's
I'd
troubles
start Robinson
up
all
front.
day.
Yeah, I think Robinson away at Wolves could potentially see the pitch instead of Aina. What I'm really interested in is the attacking options I've got. 'Cause remember when I really
Now,
annoyed myself and I had 8 really good attacking options? Well, I've got 8 really good attacking options, Matt. So your advice on who to start here would be amazing. At the minute, I'm benching Dango. I'm playing Clivert purely for effective ownership and penalty reasons. But if you were going to play Dango, who do you drop?
I don't think you can.
That's it.
I think you've got the best starting team there.
I think Dango has to
Isak,
see the
Pens,
Clivert
Cunha,
over Dango.
Pens. Yeah, Visser at home and just better stats. Salah's, Bowen. Yeah, it's Clive or Dango, right? I think yeah, Clive for ownership and Pens probably edges it just. So yeah, it
Yeah, it's gonna.
looks solid. Yeah, it's looking good. Like I like those moves. Big fan.
I like the team. I like the team. It's especially this game week looks pretty solid. It leaves me with 4 players that blank in game week 29, but I'll have 2 transfers between now and then. And obviously my bench to utilize when it comes to that game week. So it should mean I can get 11 out fairly comfortably for game week 29, as long as Dango and Clive don't start being benched. Everybody
I
else
think
is
even
a
then,
is a
like
pretty
yeah,
much guarantee.
you kind of run with it, right? So I think it's
Yeah,
looking good. I mean, if you can get away with like rolling some transfers that week as well, it helps your
yeah.
structure moving forward, right? Because I think you're planning for a later
Could be a
wild card.
late, game week 35 wild card potentially for me.
Yeah. So
We'll see how.
I think yeah, keeping as many transfers now till the early 30s is kind of good, right? So yeah, your team's looking really good.
So you think Benjamin is the correct decision, and then you'd play Robinson over Aina?
I'd play Robertson, yeah. But like, I mean,
Yeah.
up to you on that one. But I mean, yeah, Arsenal
And if
don't look
this
very good attack from an attacking point of view, right? But um,
Forest are starting to fall off it a little bit. Well, I mean, it's only 2 defeats, granted, but not as solid as they were previously. So yeah, I might mix them too. I probably won't start Mikalenko. I fancy Brentford to probably score. So it'll be one of that. Other than that, that'll probably be the team. I'll end up with Salah as captain for rank
yeah, looking
protection
good. Like,
reasons.
yeah, Bowen is fun.
Yeah, I'm a fan. When we were texting each other, and you mentioned ahead of this when I was putting the slides together, "Oh, I'm thinking of getting Bowen in." I was like, I thought he was
Yeah,
my
Bowen
hidden
and
secret.
Cunha. You got
Yeah,
him.
I was like, I
Yeah.
thought Bowen was my little secret. I didn't realize you were looking at him as well. So
I
I was
mean,
pretty happy when you said yes, Bowen. I was like, get in.
yeah, no,
We've just bought
those
him.
are the exact moves I would make. I think it looks really solid. But like, I mean, how much of a secret can Bowen be? What's he's done? I scored like 10 goals.
Yeah, true. But he's under 5% owned, so he's a real differential,
No, for sure.
which we'll come on to very shortly. But that's my team. Again, simple. I've done the transfers, so that's that looked at. I
Yeah,
wasn't going
looking
to
very good.
even.
Looking very good though. Looking very good. You
Oh,
got to
good.
feel pumped to that.
I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the squad. Happy with it. And then the only other thing I need to start considering is where I'm going to get money from my assistant manager. I think come game week 29, I'm going to have to sell Alisson Becker anyway. Fabianski's lost his place, so he's not a starter. So I think Becker down to 4.5 million keeper will bring me £1 million. Or Sa 4.3.
Oh, Wolves
And then,
Wolves have been okay all season. I think is the thing, right? They've had like some really bad runs of form, but been unlucky in matches. Like they're an okay team, right? Sa is the obvious option.
yeah, and it saves me more money because I think he's 4.3. And then Robinson's fixtures go terrible, like terrible fixtures from game week 30 onwards. So if I can get money out of Alisson, get some money out of Robinson, should be able to afford Howe fairly comfortably if that's where I end up. So plans on it. But yeah, the league. I wasn't going to bring the league up, if I'm honest. I thought I'll leave it off this week.
And
then you might have seen.
You dropped down it.
Well, I'm down to 29th, mate. You have climbed, by the way.
Yeah.
There's the league. You have climbed. I'm down to 29th. You're up to 42nd. But you may have seen on Twitter, we've got tagged Josh Woods, aka FPL Woodsy, long-time listener, long-time supporter of the pod, is in the top 10 for the first time this season. And he was very happy. So I was like, you know what? For you, Woodsy, I'm going to bring up the league so you can see yourself on the table, on the screen. Well done to you. 102 points, thanks to assistant manager. Good captain pick as well. But yeah, well done to you, Woodsy. Top of the league is still Nathan, 71 points. No chip in play for Nathan. Rank of 5,833rd overall. So a very, very strong season for Nathan. But what's incredible, mate, you're in the top 500,000 players, 400,000, 460,000, was it? And you're 42nd out of 83 in our league. Our league is strong. Like mentally strong.
I don't know if you're taking credit for that. I wouldn't.
I'm not trying to, but it's just how are you halfway, like at the halfway point in this division when you're in the top 500,000? Anyway, there it is. But well done, Woodsy. Well done, Nathan. We'll keep you updated as we go. And then the last thing we'll do is Matt versus Dave. Last week, Matt, you were and ahhing. Do you go for Madison? Do you go for Dango? You went for Madison, and you must have hated it when he was benched, but he came off the bench and got an assist, and that assist got you the win. His 4 points taking you to 6 alongside Trossard's 2, whereas my players both blanked. 4 points total. So well done. It's now 11-10.
Yeah, sort of Son was there, wasn't he, for both of us as well as like.
Nobody went for him.
Weird why Madison is benched all the time though.
I know it's especially when he's, as you said, there was last week you pointed out he's about 5th or 6th on the all midfield score, so he's getting returns. I don't know. Ange just doesn't want him.
I'm not going to speculate on Spurs tactics. I don't know enough about that. So like we fake to be experts all the time. So like, let's not go down that route. But I think this has kept up to almost. I think every week we predicted at least one return from the 4 players. So just squeezed it in with one assist.
Scraped it. Well done. Well done. That's because of you. That's because of you. But this week, the problem. So I get to go first, and the obvious pick, I can't pick because I now own him. So I'll let you have that one because I can't get him in. So I'm going to target the Chelsea game at home to Southampton. Enzo Fernandez went through a bit of a run earlier in the season, scored at the weekend. He's now returned 2 in his last 3 against Villa. Mate, he had expected goal involvement. Just expected goals of 1.17.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
So he's clearly getting forward. So Southampton home, 3.7% owned. So I'll start with Enzo Fernandez.
Nice, I'll go Bowen. Thank you for that gift.
Yeah, unsurprising for you. And there's the problem with going early on the transfers. I could have had him otherwise. But yeah, Bowen, no question. He's only 4.3% owned or something. So yeah, good pick.
Big week coming up for you.
I will continue, and we slagged them off before, but I'm going to continue with that fixture. Target the fixtures. West Ham at home to Leicester. 3 goals and 1 assist all season. Pure punt. I'll go for Kudus.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. What's Nkunku at? I suppose you didn't go for him.
Mate, I would
Yeah,
you. I don't think he starts
you reckon
next
he's going
game.
to get dropped?
Yeah, I think so. Neto, Sancho, maybe
I
will get
mean,
a game.
the issue was they were playing Reece James as a midfielder as well, so surely he gets dropped there because he was really bad and Fernandez goes back there, and then you could have
Don't say that. I've just picked
Nkunku as
Fernandez.
a 10.
Don't say that.
He was just, I don't know if actually I want to bring him in my team full stop, but he's 2.2% owned. I'm going for a Chelsea player that I think I'm confident will play, who was very, very good, whether it's striker or winger, Pedro Neto. So
What's his
that's
ownership?
based on 1 week only. But yeah, first 90 minutes in a long time. He got, what did he get? He got an assist, but expected goal involvement 1.05 against Villa, as well as just looking pretty sharp. So I'm going to go Neto against Southampton.
It's a good assist as well. Took it really
Yeah,
well
no,
to put it into end zone.
it was his work that made the goal, but he was looking very
Yeah.
good throughout the match. So I'm pretty confident he'll play somewhere in the
Yeah.
attacking three. But yeah, I don't know. And Nkunku might actually play as a striker or a 10 because you can't have Reece James playing as a mid, surely.
And we'll see. I'm hoping
Who's
he
just
gets dropped. Pure. That's the only reason I went for Enzo, if I'm honest. But time will tell.
yeah.
But
I'm just looking.
it's
Who's fit? Dewsbury Hall. He's not going to play, is he?
no, you wouldn't think
Such a
so.
weird squad. Madueke and
Is
Jackson.
Lavia fit?
Who?
Lavia? So Casado will
No,
start.
no.
You'd think
He's injured.
is the Casado's injured, so you might bring Lavia in if he's fit. Spent enough on him. It's about time to give him some games.
I think it's just like, does Sancho play or does Nkunku play? It's like a tough one to call, really.
Yeah, you're talking yourself into maybe buying him, aren't you? There's
I'm
one.
quite hot on it until I saw that fixture. He's shocking. And like
Yeah,
you've got to look at what you know and like think if someone's a risk. Because everyone got Nkunku at the beginning of this year. And I made loads of mistakes, so I can't really talk about it. But screaming out as a mistake, that was a classic case of like groupthink and people listening to what models were saying without challenging it at all. Like they had so many attacking players that were as good or better, and then they were like, he's going to be playing because he scored a few
paid a lot of
preseason
money for
goals,
him.
or I've
Yeah,
got money for him, and the model is telling me to pick it. Like that was a classic example of people just not thinking through things, and like all the models, you went back and the fixed model was saying he's the third best captaincy option. Yes, if he plays and plays 80 minutes,
yeah.
he's poor. And the
It's
models
not for me.
will say he's playing as the centre forward. He's not. He's playing as like a deep left midfielder.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, not for me. Not for me. But
I'm tempted though.
I fully expect next
I'm
game
tempted.
week. You're not tempted at all. I expect
No,
next game week you're going to own him. I'm
oh,
going to turn on your team and it'll be Neto. Just sold Rogers for Neto, not Neto, and Kunku.
oh, I don't know.
So, yeah,
I still think if I do a move, it'll probably be the -4, getting him Bowen and Cunha, same as you.
yeah, yeah. Now that looks like a sensible move. All good players do that move. A week late.
Yeah.
That seems sensible.
I wish he played forward, and I wish like he did at least look like he was running around and closing
Bond.
people down. That would have been like a very
Yeah,
nice differential. But
yeah. I'll look forward to you taking a -4. But yeah,
uh,
my best day, Bowen and Neto against Enzo and Kudus. Not quite as extravagant as some of our previous ones, but some not bad picks.
yeah, I reckon mine on paper look a lot better. Just
I
have
think
to
with
say.
Bowen.
Uh,
He's playing as a striker. He's on penalties. Yeah, I'd prefer Bowen. Bowen would probably outscore my two on his own, mate. I just couldn't pick him unknowingly. So yeah, best of luck. Best of luck. Take it 11-11.
oh,
Keep
we
it
both win.
interesting. Yeah, exactly. We both win. But that brings us to the end. Don't know why my voice has gone all off and weird. But if you
Emotional,
aren't
thinking of Bowen.
subscribed, I know that's what it is.
Bowen for
If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. It does help us out. If you found this very useful, I'll say this every week. If you found this useful, it does help other people to find us as well. And it's free, and it just means that me and Matt feel the love. So please, 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 if you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button, click the like button. Gets us in the algorithms. But Matt, anything you want to say before we sign off?
I think I've lost my mind just thinking of Nkuku as a potential option. I've got this dilemma playing in my head now.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Comments below if you think Matt should play Nkuku. If this channel gets to 1,000 subscribers before the deadline, Matt has to buy Nkuku.
If he does, like, okay, I'm gonna be really bitchy now. If he does well, can we start doing posts on X and stuff like that, saying we called him out as a good option? I do notice some people do a scattergun approach and name every player that could be an option every single week, and one of them does do something, and then they're reposting posts or saying on our podcast we mentioned.
I'm gonna say now, if Nkunku ends up delivering, I said he was shit. You can call all the plaudits, not me. I'm out.
What is with that approach though? Like, unless you're actually doing it yourself for skin in the game, you can't just say a couple of like obvious players and a couple of punts are good options and then pat yourself on the back.
It does work. It does work for some people. Not us. Not us. I can't be bothered posting on Twitter that much. We're probably two of the quieter Twitter posters if in terms of people that do pods.
Yeah, true. I'm quite full stop until I have one half decent game week, right? So I just need to perform better.
Then he's in.
So I can like shamelessly start flaunting stuff. But yeah, man, I think probably a quieter game week. I think now compared to many. The chips probably done and dusted for a little while. So yeah, quiet one without any radical swings. Outside of that, captaincy decision will be welcome, and then we take our approaches for 29. But saying that, we know that that captaincy decision will probably be massive.
Yeah.
If you're in or out of Bowen, that could be massive. So we shall see. I'm hoping for you, mate, that you have a good week, because I know we've had a big red this last one, artificial.
Last two. The non-chip hurt badly.
I think you need it, and you need it to keep the enthusiasm up.
I do. I need a green. So yeah, hopefully Bowen delivers for me as a big differential. But yeah, time will tell. I'll look forward to this game week starting and not having to battle assistant manager chips before I even began. So yeah, we'll see how we get on.
But wishing you luck, and of course, listening to the viewers and the listeners, good luck to all of you, particularly if you've got similar players to us. That kind of
Absolutely.
It's always the underlying message. But yeah, there'll be a quick turnaround now, and then I don't know if we'll do it next week or when we're going to do it next week, but we'll kind of like chat. But we're probably going to delay it a little bit until close to the game week 28 deadline. Yeah. But like we'll do a bit of a deeper analysis on what players to go, what our reflections are, and we'll be back soon, mate.
Absolutely, mate. Do you want to close like last week?
I think that I'm done. That was as close as getting to a close.
That was your sign off. Well, I appreciate your time as always, Matt. Thank you for joining us, and we will indeed catch up ahead of game week 28. And to you, the listener, thank you for joining us too. Whatever decisions you make, I wish you all the green arrows in the world. Get your mates to subscribe so Matt can bring in Nkunku when we get to 1,000 subscribers, and we'll catch you on the next one.